being in the playoffs and everything. String, you having it up just a bit. Able to see the nice transition bases, getting the dream team. That's the 76ers any point in his career. I'm going to go with from working together as a well-oiled finish. They were like, they keep this momentum going. At the same time, I just can't wait for the chance to do, dunk it and either, that's. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for 6 for 6. Yes, I know you guys missed me. It's been a while since I did a show. But yes, we're going to try to figure things out a little bit since a lot of the sporting events are on little mini breaks. But hey, we still got sports going on because we got the Olympics coming up. But some housekeeping items, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to have a show next Tuesday, because I'll be moving into my new apartment. So there won't be a show next week. But hey, we're going to still keep it going. But let me get some nice housekeeping items out of the way. First off, ladies and gentlemen, we have the MI6 NBA Draft Extravaganza happening July 29th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific, as we get ready to look at the NBA draft and see what NBA teams draft what. If you want to see what happened last time we did it, go check out our YouTube channel. And it has, the draft extravaganza from, the NFL, you name it. We did, the NBA not too long, like a year ago. So if you want to see some of our reactions from past extravaganzas, definitely go to our YouTube page and check us out and give us some love and some likes, and even subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us grow as an individual, not individual, but as a network as a whole. Also, tonight we have the Sports Lounge with Callan. Definitely tune in. Great time with them on the show. I know it's a little bit late for the people on the East Coast, but it's that prime time, in the Pacific time zone where you get to enjoy the nice sporting events of all that. Also, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is Fan Response at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Tuning in with Ryan and Sammy as they give some great hot sports debates and have a great conversation with their show. Also, we have the 1-year anniversary of Wild Sports Talk, ladies and gentlemen, on July 30th from 3 a.m. Eastern, 12:30 a.m. Pacific. I think that might going to be adjusted here and there, maybe to get some of our guys on, but I know a lot of guys for us here on our network are going to be on, the Pacific time zone, so that's more allocated towards them, but we'll see how we, we'll change that time to get everybody on MI6 to partake in that special event. But now, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, before we get off, you know what today is. It's Olympics and all that stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Olympics picture to really kick off tonight's topic and all the stuff that we have here going on for tonight's program. And I just want to give you guys a heads up. This is just going to be Olympic sporting events that I personally enjoy watching or, would like to partake in if I ever had the opportunity. There's probably maybe 2 out of the events that I've selected I've actually done personally in my career of sports in general. But let's get underway to start us off with the number 6 selection of tonight's program. So number 6 is swimming and diving for the Olympics, ladies and gentlemen. I do personally enjoy these events, from the 100-meter freestyle to breaststroke to backstroke. You name it, these events are really good to partake in and are really fun to watch, I would say. But, the diving events, the really high dives and all that stuff, to the synchronized swimming, to everyone moving in sync, to, the nice sprint across the swimming pool, and even the relays on top of it. You see some pretty interesting races in the swimming events, and you can't, go without a Summer Olympics without at least watching one of these events. To give some of our viewers some frame of reference, let me give you a nice picture of an Olympic-sized swimming pool. As you can see, you have the high dives in the back, the mid-range dives and the low-range dives, to, the lanes in the pool. Definitely something to tune in and watch for sure, ladies and gentlemen. Next up on our list, that we have is handball. I've actually done handball in my gym class before back in high school. My gym teacher was a fan of it, or a lot of my friends were also played in it. I know Ohio State had a handball student organization where you could, play. Same with the club team. I didn't partake in that because I was more in a little bit retired state in my, athletic ability, but I'm trying to get back into more recreational activities. So maybe find some Facebook groups and join a handball club there, or a soccer club in that. But at the same time, I gotta get back in athletic shape before I go into it. Well, maybe I join a beginners team, so I work my way back up to it. But some of you are asking, what is handball? How do you play it and all that stuff? I think this picture I'm about to show you, for those who are tuning in, from Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel, this picture really captures handball. Just look how high this man is jumping to try to score. It's a mix of like basketball and soccer combined, and it's just one amazing sport. It's very athletic, very physical at times, and it's just a well sport to play. I enjoy playing it each time that I have the opportunity, and it's hard work. To be honest, I don't like to be goalie. Goalie in this sport is really extremely difficult, and people are like whipping this ball at you, and you're trying to, purposely blocking. So you're purposely trying to get hit by the ball to prevent people from scoring. So it's that nice soccer element to it, but it also has, that flicker ball / basketball, because you can dribble the ball to move around. So there's a lot of good stuff with handball. It's one of fun Olympic sport to, actually watch if you have the opportunity to take it. Next up on our list, ladies and gentlemen, we have number 4, water polo. Water polo is a great Olympic sport to watch. It's like soccer, but in water, but it's like handball, but in water. It's the, crossover of all the sports that have like a goal is water polo. It's great. It's fun to, play. It's a lot of, hard work and swimming, because you're swimming with this ball. The pool is, I believe, is 12 feet deep. So no one is standing in this. They're all actually swimming in this pool to just, be able to do it. So let me give you, a visual representation of it. Just look how physical that picture is, ladies and gentlemen. That picture alone just shows you how physical water polo is and how strong these men here in this picture, just be able to, play this sport and trying to score. But before we go on to our number 3, let's do just a quick recap of what we have going on. We have number 6, we have swimming and diving, ladies and gentlemen, just, to embrace the Olympic sport that we have. Number 5 is handball. Just to show you guys, I played handball in high school, had the opportunity to do it, and it's a fun sport. So if you're trying to learn a new sport, definitely give handball a try. It's a nice, unique sport. And number 4 is water polo. I enjoy watching it. It's like soccer, but in water. It's great. Same with, it's like a little spin of handball to it, but obviously it's in water. But yes, that is the top 4 through 6 right now. So I'll go back and show some of the pictures if you're kind of curious on what some of these sports are about. But obviously feel free to Google them yourselves and look them up. So I'll just recap it real quick for those who are tuning in, as I just recap the first 6 through 4. So number 6 is swimming. Number 5 is handball. Number 4 is water polo. Number 3 is fencing. Yes, this is one of my favorite sports that I enjoy watching. It's Star Wars. That's how I want to classify fencing. It's like if you were a big fan of the Star Wars and the laser swords, yes, lightsabers and all that stuff, fencing is where it's at. It's the beauty of fencing. It makes you feel like a Jedi Knight or a Sith Lord wielding that fencing sword. And for those who are kind of curious of what fencing really is, this picture really captures what fencing really is. And it just makes you feel like you're a Jedi out there swinging that fencing sword, or the lance, I think they want to call those swords. Definitely a good sport to watch if you have the opportunity to watch it in the Olympic events. But if not, definitely try to tune in, future trials, and maybe Google on, go on YouTube and search up fencing to see what fencing is all about, ladies and gentlemen. But next up, we have number 2, women's gymnastics. Yes, the queens of the gymnastics go at it. The Olympics are a prime event for women's gymnastics. I enjoy watching. I watch the qualifiers. It's definitely a fun experience to watch. and all the, U.S. women athletes who are out there who compete in the gymnastics do a fantastic job, from the dance routine, from the uneven bars, from I guess the pony. I don't want to even say it's the pony. It's the, the thing where they can spin around that little table. But, let me just show you the beautiful picture of it. Just look at women's gymnastics right there. The acrobatic behind it, the athleticism, and the unique thing about these, women's gymnasts, they only have a short time span to be in Olympics. They really only have 2 Olympics to compete. The first one that they enter, and then the second one, because it's 4 years, and you really only have a good, 2-year window. So it's like once you cross into that, 24, they're not going to bring you back for when you're 28. So your, reign is done. So it's from 18 to 24. That's your, prime window for the women's gymnasts, in the Olympics. But to, recap everything for tonight's program, let me just do a quick recap for all of us. We got swimming and diving at the number 6 spot in my favorite Olympic sports. Number 5, we have handball on our list. Number 4, we have water polo. Number 3, we have fencing, to the great swordsmen and swordswomen who know how to, wield a lance and be the best sword fighters out there. Number 2, we have women's gymnastics and all the acrobatics, from the uneven bars to the dance routine and all that wonderful stuff. But the thing that takes the cream of the crop is that every Olympics that everyone anticipates, it's track and field. The no-brainer, the easy one that everyone knows, that everyone enjoys to watch. The track and field, from when Usain Bolt ran, when you start making those world records and no one could catch him in the 100-meter dash, and he had that supernatural speed that, every, sprinter wanted to become. But, being able to watch, the events of track and field and just being at the stadium, this picture really captures what it would be like in an Olympic stadium doing a track and field event at the world stage, running it. It's unbelievable. I was able to do track and field in high school. I did it from my junior year to my winter senior year, and my shins got bad. I kind of ended up stopping there because I was just uncomfortable running at that point. I just kind of just said I need to take a break from sports and all that stuff. So I kind of coasted my senior year in the spring to just relax, take time to myself, and embrace the moment, because you only got one senior year of high school. So I kind of took it easy in the spring semester after that. But the track and field events that I did, I could have raced the 100, though it wasn't my primary. Same with the 200. But the ones that the coaches put me in was, the 400. I did the 400-meter dash. It was great. I had a great 400-meter time, though I didn't qualify for districts and all that stuff. That was my prime one that they did, because they ended up putting me in the 4x4 for the 400-meter relay. I did that because they, wanted us to get us some experience, though I wasn't no varsity starter and all that stuff. But they allowed me to run in some of the meets. But they also put me in the 110 hurdles, and boy, those hurdles were high. I had to do some, leaps and bounds to be able to do it. And I, the group of guys I was with, we trained together, had a great experience. We ended up calling ourselves a Trail Leg Society, because that's the leg that you had to bring over the hurdle. And so we kind of nicknamed our, 4x4 that, the Trail Leg Society, or the Trail Leg Squad, because we were all, hurdlers. And the other one that I ended up doing was the 300 hurdles. That one was a work. The one I did that, I'd never forget it. I did the 400-meter event, and then I had a transition to the 300-meter hurdles. And boy, I was gassed from that event. I was out of breath. I was tired from the 400-meter, and I had a transition. And that was probably one of the worst races I ever ran, because I put my heart and soul in the 400 meters, and I do a quick turnaround, saying, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. And that was that. But my, records, they're not the best, but I think I had maybe a couple second place finishes in the 400 meters in the heats that I've been in. I was close to winning my, first, I want to say, 400-meter race. I got caught down at the last point. So as you can see where the numbers are here on this track, I got caught right where the person was coming in right there, and I got passed. But it was the split millisecond. I lost by a millisecond to that race. And I'm saying, maybe it was the person who hit the stopper a little bit too slow and they got caught up into it. And that's why I lost a little second to that. But in my opinion, I feel like there was a tie, but I really don't know because there was no photo finish that I could look back and say, oh, I won it or not. But hey, that was that. But yes, that is the, my top 6 Olympic events that I have for us. Let me do a quick recap for y'all here tonight. So number 6, I got swimming and diving. I love it, from the high dives to synchronized swimming to, the backstroke to the breaststroke and all that stuff. I know some of y'all who are just tuning in with us tonight, I'll give you some pictures so you can see what it is. So you got swimming and diving to really capture that. Next up, I have handball. I've played it in gym class my senior year. I didn't play at Ohio State because I didn't have the time. It was Wednesday night and I was busy, but I'll probably find a Facebook group that is in the handball. It was more of a casual aspect, so I can, get into that. But for those who are kind of curious what handball looks like, here's a great picture of handball. It's wonderful to, partake in. It's definitely something wonderful. I want to get back into playing it. I really need to get back into that athletic shape. I know Stephen Wing wants to challenge me in one-on-one basketball, and I've been saying, once I get back in athletic shape, I think I can contest with Stephen, give him a run for his money, and show him hey, I can still compete though I'm kind of in a retired state, but hey, I'll still give him the best effort that I can. But I got to get work back into my athletic capabilities and doing the best that I can. Next up, we have water polo. As you know, some of you guys know what water polo is. It's this wonderful sport, it's like handball, but it's also like soccer because you got a goal. And boy, it's fun to watch water polo in this event. It's definitely something I enjoy tuning into when it's on. I definitely enjoy it. Number 3 is fencing. Like I said earlier in tonight's program, it was like Star Wars. It's fencing. You can joust, you can lance. It's wielding a sword. It's something I always wanted to do. Never had the opportunity, but I was a fan of Star Wars and something I always admired those who could fence. And if I had the opportunity to learn how to fence, I would definitely, partake in that. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is women's gymnastics. I like it from the uneven bars to dance routine, from, the table of dismounting like that. The women's gymnastics team has been always dominant. I shouldn't say always dominant, but dominant in the last recent Olympics here in the U.S. I'm glad to see some of the amazing events that our women's team was able to put through. But I also like seeing what the other nations are able to do in their gymnastics teams, because there's a lot of good nations out there who do phenomenal in gymnastics. And it's always a good heated competition to see it and watch it and seeing what ends up happening and who comes out on top. But obviously the cream of the crop, ladies and gentlemen, that we all know is track and field. And track and field is one of those events that we love to see each and every time that we have the opportunity to see it. It's one of those sporting events that, if you have the opportunity to see it, it's wonderful to see. Though it takes a lot of time. I've done track meets, and boy, they last for hours. It's stuff that you just don't know, understanding. The distance events are few of the last events out there. They get the sprinting events done, and I was able to do, for like I said earlier in tonight's program, I did, the 400 meters, the 4x4, the 110 hurdles, and the 300-meter hurdles in my time in high school. And I had some good times. None of it qualified for me for districts. I had a couple second-place finishes in my heat. But obviously, my fastest mile time I did was in gym class, actually, as strange as it was. I ran a 5:49 mile, which is my fastest mile I ever ran in my life. I don't think I'll ever get back to that. That was my junior year of high school. And I could say that was my prime. After that, I ended up going to my senior year. I digressed. I got old. I kind of fell off, and I haven't really been back onto running since. But hey, I'm going to get back into athletic shape so I can, do some of the MI6 sporting events that we have, maybe do once, the pandemic dies down a little bit, and when the guys and from coast to coast, we all can get together to do some, fun sporting events, maybe a mini golf tournament. So, whoever wins it gets a nice green Masters jacket, the PGA Masters tournament gets something like that for the guys. Maybe, have our own Olympics, and then when it comes to LA, I believe in 2028, but don't quote me on that. When the LA Olympics happens, we'll try to get the MI6 crew and the Coast to Coast crew together, and we'll have our own mini, track and field, Olympics type of style. We'll do our own 100 meters to the 400 meters. We'll do a 200-meter race and all that fun stuff. Definitely, something to tune in the future. But that will, conclude it for our Olympics edition here on the 6 for 6, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a great show tonight. Thank you for all those who have tuned in and show me some love and support for tonight's program. But let me do a quick, recap to, close out tonight's program. Our draft extravaganza is happening July 29th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific. We have the Sports Lounge with Callan tonight at 11:30 p.m. Pacific, 2:30 a.m. Eastern. We also have fan response tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, and obviously on July 30th is the Wild Sports Talk 1-year anniversary. The show time, as I want to say, is to be determined, but it's looking at 12:30 a.m. Pacific to 3:30 a.m. Eastern. So it's based off of my time. I guess I kind of mix it up because it's based off of my time. So that is a typo on my part. So it's going to be 12:30 a.m. Eastern. So 9:30 p.m. Pacific. Sorry for that typo, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just give a quick recap of the sports that I have selected for those who are tuning in. So we got swimming and diving at number 6. Number 5, we got handball. Number 4, we got water polo. Number 3, we got fencing. Number 2, we got women's gymnastics. And number 1, we have track and field. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning on the fantastic ride of 6 for 6. I want to remind you there won't be a program next week because I'll be moving into my new apartment. So the week after that, I want to say, is August. Let me pull that up for you, ladies and gentlemen, so you are aware of when I will resume service. So we are looking at August 10th of the return of 6 for 6. So after things are a little bit settled in, once I moved into my new place. So this backdrop is going to be a little bit different, but obviously I'll be more moved in. Things will have died down a little bit, but we'll be back. I'll try to figure out what some of the good sporting events are coming up in August. It's going to be a little bit touch and go until, college football gets underway. So we may, take August 17th off. And then once we start revamping up towards the college football season and the NFL season, that's when we'll get more of a weekly basis of, 6 for 6, something routine so you can come into each and every week that you can, come into. But that will do it for us on the 6 for 6 network, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's program. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy all the rest of the Olympics that are happening this week. Take care, everybody. So long, and see you all in 2 weeks from now. Bye-bye.